Thanks for watching. Now, I recently returned from my trip to Mallorca, Spain. If you guys want to check out some cool pictures from that trip, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Real Merkabah. Now, one of the things about this trip and traveling to Spain and, just traveling around the world, going to different countries, one of the things that I really started to realize is how much we don't travel. How much the American dream is only meant for Europeans, for white people in America. And I say that because we are not able to basically, experience the American dream because of our situation, because of poverty, because of oppression. And I know it's like big things that everybody talk about, and a lot of people are so tired of hearing us talk about, oppression and racism and everything like that, but it's real. And it can't be denied, especially if you are an objective person, if you really pay attention to your surroundings. And one of the things that you see when you travel is the lack of black people traveling, especially to exotic places, especially to Europe. And one of the reasons for that is, just some people are just fearful of leaving America, black people, because they don't know how they'll be accepted or received in a foreign country. And something go down and you get in trouble. A lot of people don't think the government will be there for us in a foreign country. So a lot of people like to stay local in America, travel, to close places. But one of the reasons why we have to travel, one of the reasons why we have to go to Europe, we have to go to these other countries, is to stake our claim. It's to really put out there about the true history of Europe, Asia, Africa, what have you. A lot of these countries that we have history and that we inhabited and ruled and controlled before European conquest, and Spain is no different. We know the Moors ran the country for hundreds of years, and there's a point you'll get to in history where everything cuts off as far as European rule, European domination, and you have African rulership or black people ruling, black people in authority. You have whole entire systems in place ran by African people that people have absolutely no clue of. And I talked about this in the Buddhism DVD, how the people in India have no clue about the caste system and how Europeans, put this caste system in place to separate the people, and how they're watching their own people starve, and millions, hundreds of millions of people living in poverty, poor, sick, starving in India because of a system that Europeans set up that they follow. So it makes you think about the ruling people in a system like that. Why would you allow your own people to go through such, tragedy, because of a separatist, caste system, a class system, which we have in America? When you look at the system, as I explained in the video, it's sick, it's crazy. How could anybody who claimed to be civilized or have any morals, which we'll get into in this video, do such a thing? So, and being in Spain, I was basically the only black person there, it seemed like. In Mallorca is just beautiful. It's one of these tropical type islands. It's just a vacation heaven that you go to, and it's everything you can name, you can do there. You can parasail. You got the beach, you got clubs, you got good food, you got a lovely atmosphere, but it was just full of white people. Occasionally you see some Asians. The only black people you seen there was Africans that was selling fake Louis Vuitton bags. That's it. And it was like in little groups and pockets everywhere. And it was set up to a point to where it seemed like this is all that they're given. And it's crazy when you see that. It's like, okay, every time I see my people here, they're selling fake Louis. They're trying to sell me fake Louis. And it's like, what is it? Can they get any other kind of job here? Why don't I see them in any other type of capacity besides selling fake goods? So now you have to really think about the type of picture that paints on the minds of people in Mallorca. Young kids that's there, when they only see white people everywhere shopping and vacationing, and the only black people that they see is selling fake bags. And it seemed to be a nuisance because everybody who they're trying to sell to and tap on the shoulder and get to sell bags to, a lot of these people was just, no. Mallorca, if you're there vacationing, most of the people there was rich people. They had money, could probably afford the real thing. But, it's weird. It just seemed like it was set up for them to just be there and just sell only fake stuff. And, it's kind of crazy to see that and, it felt funny, it felt weird. And I was waiting to probably experience some type of racism while I was there, but thankfully none of that happened. Everything was cool. People was cool. They just was having a good time. And a lot of people hear that Spain is supposed to be one of the most racist countries in the world. Not so much in certain places, definitely, but not so much in Mallorca. It's just a lot of people go there on vacation and they don't really want no drama. And they figure if you're there on vacation, you probably got some kind of money. Being on the beach and being the only black person out there, I mean, it's weird. And I was like, damn, we need to travel more. We need to get out there more and make ourselves seen as if we matter, we exist, that we are not poor, lazy people, that we're cultured, that we go out, that we understand. Because the more that we stay in America and not travel, the more we give away our rights to these countries. And now you can look and see with the Moors having such a rich history in Spain, you can see they're trying to change that. You can see, just like I was trying to show people about the Andaman tribe in the Buddhism DVD I was showing you before. Anybody who does research, you're seeing this. You're seeing it happen before your eyes. If you do research a lot, you remember what it's saying in books. You remember what it said online when you checked. So when they change that and you go back and see that it's changed, it's like, what's going on? So with the Andaman tribe, of course, now they're trying to say they didn't come out of Africa. So now with the Moors, they're saying that they wasn't black. They're not even mentioning the black Moors. They're not mentioning the fact that Moor means black. They're trying to make it as if the Moors were Arabs, Muslims. And that's how they're trying to change it into that. And then it's crazy when you see pictures of a Moor, it's black. They're trying to completely erase it and make this face of a Moor a Muslim Arab. And this is something we got to pay attention to. So we're not going to these countries and saying, well, wait a minute, this was our country before y'all took it, before conquest. We have history here. You have a lot of Latin people there, people from Spain, people who grew up there and think that, my history starts here and my people being here for hundreds of years, don't realize, before your people took this place, it belonged to us. So when you go back and you start visiting these countries and making yourself seen, Greece, predominantly white, you see a bunch of white faces there. Everybody knows Greece, African, black people was there. Same thing with Rome. You go back and look in ancient times, they'll tell you, no way in the world, when you describe a person from Greece, so-called Greece, or Rome, nobody would say that they was white. Everybody just knew, well, wait a minute, these people are black people, African people. There were black rulers in Rome. So if we're not going to these places, and I commend everybody who has traveled and have been to these places to say, hey, this is not a fucking white country. This is not a European country. We keep calling it European, giving them the country, giving them the land when it's ours. And I know that's just something that we used to doing and saying European, but we got to kind of sort of start to break ourselves out of that and say conquered land, or just kind of change the name, or just be mindful that when we say European, now European, remember that it was once African, was once our land. That's proven scientifically and historically that we can prove this stuff. So you have a lot of people traveling to these countries and they're proud because they believe that their heritage started there, that their roots begin in these countries, when we have to make it known that you guys are conquerors. This was our land. And I make that note to a lot of people who I meet that's Egyptian. A lot of people, oh, I'm Egyptian. No, you're not. You're an Arab. You just was born in Egypt. You was born in Kemet, but your family are invaders, conquerors. If you want to call yourself that, that's fine, but understand the true history. Like we say African American, because we have to accept that name. We have to accept African American because we don't know what it was called before that. But we got to understand, well, wait a minute, we was here on this land long before any so-called America. So let's establish that first, and then you can call me whatever you want to call me, but understand first, this is my people's land. So we need to travel more. We need to get out to Europe. People need to see these places and know the history. Again, if we're traveling, if we getting this information, this is why I put out so much information, DVDs or what have you. If we getting this information and we understanding the history and we're going there to visit, we break our neck for Kemet. Everybody, gotta go to Egypt. Egypt is black, 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 but we give away the rest of the world, and we gotta stop doing it. And I realize not everybody can travel. A lot of people don't have the money and the means to see the world, but you can still, educate yourself and get the history and understand what took place around the world in countries that's really belong to people of color, African people. So one of the things that I always think about when I see stuff like that, because it's not just in Spain, it's a lot of countries that I've been to, when you see, the predominantly white people everywhere, tourists, vacationing, having fun, enjoying the land. And it's like, we stuck in the system where we can't get out and do that because we in a rat race, we in the system. So the system is designed for us to just, okay, well, if I end up having enough money to take a vacation, I could do it by myself, but I really can't afford to take my wife, take my kids, for us to go and, have a family vacation in a foreign country. That's a lot of money. And most of the times when people get that kind of money to spend, they're not spending it on a family vacation. They're paying off bills or buying something that they need. And again, that's by design. So it's one of those things where white privilege comes into play, because their ancestors had the time to set up vacation homes over there and, establish wealth and, generational wealth, and they have the money. They've been able to go to good schools, and they grew up right without being in an impoverished family, and they went to a good school, got a good job that they can, vacation 2 times a year and go see the world and take their entire family and stuff like that. This is where that stuff comes into play, and it's almost like it's by design, because they can go and experience the world and be in places that's beautiful and tropical, and not have to worry about, black people being there just like them. I put out a video before about will they change the history books? Will they ever change it? So much information has been coming out, proving, so many different things about the accomplishments of African people. The fact that we was here in America, well, they're in America, and so many things that we did, and royal families before any European family and stuff like that. Will they change the books? And of course they won't, because we can see they're slowly changing and covering up our history. So we got to write more books and put books out. We got to, understand that real history before it's gone. And, we got to collect that proof and have it. So, 10, 20 years from now, our children is not arguing with somebody about, the relevancy of African lineage in Spain or in other countries. So, we just have that proof, and it's right there. Boom, here it is. Because the Europeans is not going to have any proof. They're going to have some stuff written in the book that they're going to try to make you accept. The proof won't be there. The proof is there for us, and we got to really embrace that and learn it and accept it. So now the full extent of what I'm trying to warn everybody about is basically, it has happened already here in America, because the traces of African or so-called Native American history that was here before, the colonists came over is almost completely gone, wiped out. And we can't really go back and look at exactly what, black people was doing here, how the civilizations looked. We can only look at, depictions, drawings, and, some cave art and crude cave art. So we don't really have that picture painted of what was here. So this is why the debate is ongoing about America. This is why a lot of Europeans don't want to accept that we was here first. But we can go to scientific DNA, we can go to remains found and stuff like that to prove, that we was here before anybody else. But, other than that, it's just so much of the right in your face information is gone, it's wiped out. So we have that same problem here. It basically happened, and now we're dealing with it. Because now, they want to paint this picture of us as, them saving us from, primitive life in Africa, bringing us here to America and giving us the world. We gave you your language, and now you guys are living good, you're doing well, you're doing better because of us. But, what about the, couple 100 years, 400 years of slavery? What about that? What was that shit about? So we can't forget that either, but we got to remember, that line, what took place before that, when y'all came over here and took everything. So the problem is, of course, you have that European guilt, and they want us to forget about that. But, when you think about a society, and we have laws, but mostly people base society and everything that they do off of morals. And, when we're talking about morals, we're talking about basically what's good, what's bad, what's evil, or what have you. Right and wrong, that's basically morality. you was right or you was wrong. This is what we base stuff off. We have laws, but laws exist in the system, and morality do as well, as I'll explain. But we kind of sort of base things off of morality. And, white people want us to just say, forget about it. It happened a long time ago. Just let it go and move on. And, we basically tried to do that. The whole Dr. King movement, civil rights movement was basically saying, hey, listen, we want to bury the hatchet. We want to just be treated equally and have equal rights. And, we didn't get that. We seen what happened. Dr. King was killed. So we tried that way of just trying to say, hey, we're willing to forget about it if you guys stop treating us like crap. We're willing to let it go and say, well, we know it wasn't you guys. We know it was your ancestors that did this stuff to our ancestors. As a result, we're here. Let's move forward in unity, treat it equally, and let's keep it moving. And this was what people was willing to do. And that didn't happen. And of course, we know the reason why. So we have so many Europeans, white people want us to just forget about that, but we can't. We can't, because we're still constantly facing the racism and the oppression still to this day. So we can't just sit back and forget about it. And, morally, when you look at how this country was founded, it was founded on wrong. So we really want to base everything off of right and wrong, off of morality. This entire country was established off of, murder, genocide, rape, slavery. And they want us to accept that flag, which represents all these things, and just say, it never happened. Forget about it. If we accept the flag, if we accept America, we accept the oppression, we accept everything that happened to us. Now, we can't no longer turn around and say, oh, well, it happened, it's done and over with, when we still experiencing the same kind of oppression today. So it's tough to just let it go when we going through what we're going through. And then morally, you can't say anything, because this entire thing was set up off of evil. So, if you're willing to accept that evil and how this country was established, then that's your bad. We shouldn't, as African people. But then when you start to really think about morality, you start to realize that morality can only exist in a controlled system.